My name is Lisa Anflick. I am one of the consultants at Expedia Cruises, and this annual World Explorer event is being hosted by our 6 Expedia Cruises locations in the Edmonton area, as well as our location in West Vancouver. It's been a long 19 months that travel has shut down. And if you're on this call, you love to travel and probably want to start exploring the world again. Travel fulfills us. That's why we do it. And if you're like me, you're missing it. There's good news, however. Cruising has begun. Cruise ships started to sail this past June. We've now had 4 months of ocean cruising in Alaska, the Caribbean, and Europe. River cruises have also started in Europe. Cruises are operating safely with the highest health protocols, and cruising is by far one of the safest ways to travel. At the end of September, there were 50% of cruise ship fleets back in the water. In our locations at Expedia Cruises, we have had passengers who have recently sailed to Alaska or the Caribbean. They came back with raving reviews. They were thrilled to get back on board and have the wonderful experience that only a cruise can provide. Travel is going to become a little bit more complex as we continue on. Now more than ever, the professional advice of a travel consultant is needed. Our consultants are here to help you navigate the new complexities of travel and make sure your vacation is safe and seamless. It's interesting. I always find that people will say to me that they book their own vacations. And I sit back and I think there are lots of things that I could do on my own. I could change the oil in my car. I could cut my own hair, but I'm sure I wouldn't do a great job. I want to go to a travel or a professional for that. In the same way you want to go to a travel advisor to help you with your vacations. What you will receive when you book with Expedia Cruises travel advisor is the following: our expertise. There are hundreds of cruise lines and cruise ships, and our travel advisors will help you narrow down to what is the best cruise for you, because one size doesn't fit all. Pricing: you will never pay less booking directly with the cruise lines. Many times, booking with a travel advisor will give you a better price. Extras: at Expedia Cruises, we block group space on hundreds of sailings and can offer you not only the better pricing, but amenities such as shipboard credits that if you book directly with the cruise line, you will not receive. We also will be able to give you information regarding passports, visa, entry requirements, COVID tests, vaccination protocols, all that's even more important nowadays. We are here to assist in emergencies and any problems. We are there 24/7 to back you up. And you'll have the ability to have your entire vacation package planned and monitored by one person. If you are ready to travel, we are here ready to help. And our motto is the time is now. But we do know that some of you, the time is not right to travel now, but the time is now to plan 2022, 2023, and even 2024. Studies have shown approximately 40% of the pleasure of a trip comes from planning one. There is a great deal of pent-up demand. We have all missed many seasons of vacations. Tours and cruises are filling up, and in some cases, space is limited. Last year's been very challenging, and what keeps me smiling, other than wine and chocolate, is the fact of thinking about where do I want to go next. The term bucket list is now gone. It is now a to-do list. I can't wait to start traveling again. Time has passed, and like you, I have much to make up for. Whatever your dreams are, our Expedia Cruises travel advisors can help them come true. We are committed to finding you the best value for your travel dollars. We are more than just cruises. Our name is Expedia Cruises, air, land, and sea vacation. We can help you plan all the components of your vacations, and best of all, we are in your neighborhood. So sit back and relax. Let's start exploring the world. And in this situation, we are looking at Goway, featuring South America, and we are talking about land vacations. So let's welcome our guest host with us, Saran. Hello, Saran.
Hi, can you all hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to jump right in, I guess. Okay, I'm going to start. So look at our partnership. Our logos are the same color. I know you have all the phone numbers there, but I just have it on my screen. Just a little bit about Goway. This might be a repeat for some of you, but those of you who don't know, Goway is 51 this year. Let's see if there we go, there's the screen. That's our owner and CEO and founder, Bruce Hodge. For those of you who don't know, he's Australian, but he's Canadian now. He started the company in 1970, then brought along his wife, and then he had 2 children, Rowan and Adam, who also work for the company. One thing with Goway Travel, what we do is customize itineraries. We sell outside of North America. What we do best is pre and post. So we love Expedia Cruises. You guys do all the stuff on the beautiful waters, and we like doing stuff before and after. Especially when you travel internationally, we like customizing to your budget, your timeline, what you want to do. So we do it quite fast, and we work very well with Expedia. I'm going to move on to the next slide here. This is a brand new brochure. It's an online brochure. So if you want to get e-brochure, just let your Expedia Cruise consultant know, and we can send it out to you via virtual. Hopefully we'll print it up by next year. This is only temporary. It's the new next journey of your best Goway travel. We used to have 6 brochures, so we merged them all into one. And of course, South America is featured in here. Now, of course, here's a map of South America. I'm going to focus on specifically a country that is hot, inquiries are coming in, is Peru. But the 2 countries that are currently right now open for travel is Peru and Ecuador. The other ones, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, they're all slowly picking up. But I thought I would focus more on Peru just because of my time frame. Because it's so hard to talk about every little country in just a short time. But as you can see on the map, the other country that is popular is Ecuador with the Galapagos Islands. Easter Island, and as I mentioned, Argentina, Chile, they're all slowly picking up. Brazil was picking up, but it will probably pick up a little bit more come next quarter of next year. So moving on to Peru, just to show you a picture here, the orange is the water. It's the Pacific Ocean. The yellow is the coastline, which is 12% of the land. Highlands, which is 20% of the land, that's where you're going to find the famous landmark of Machu Picchu and Cusco. And the green is 60%, more than half of the land is the Amazon rainforest. Population is just under 30 million, so you understand its population is almost as big as Canada, a little bit smaller than Canada. The language is, of course, Spanish, and the currency is solo, which US dollars is widely used. People always, I like maps just to get a more of a visual. So I've been very blessed. I've been to Peru twice. The first time I did fly by Los Angeles. It's 8.5-hour flight from Los Angeles to Lima, Peru. Now, of course, there's all gateways that we sell all across Canada, Alberta, and British Columbia. And my second time I flew, it was Air Canada Rouge, flying from Toronto. And Toronto to Lima, Peru is 8 hours. And as you can tell on the map, it's the same time zone. Toronto and Lima. So only 2 hours ahead of Alberta and 3, of course, from BC. That's important because I was in a jet lag when I came back home. When you go over the ocean, you get more jet lag, and which is great when traveling to South America. The other thing I want to talk about when going to Peru, also Ecuador and other countries in South America, people don't realize where the Andes Mountains are, the continent is quite high elevation in a lot of places. So for Machu Picchu, it's not, and some people might giggle as I say this, but some people might not know. When I learned about Peru years ago, I didn't know much. I thought, oh, if I go on a cruise, I can just do a day trip to Machu Picchu. Well, no, you can't. It's a 3 to 4 day process to get to Machu Picchu. And this slide will show you why. You see on the bottom left here, it says 177 feet. That's Lima, Peru. Of course, it's sea level. To get to Machu Picchu, the gateway is Cusco, which is I believe it's the 2nd or 3rd largest city in Peru. That's the gateway. And as you can tell, when you get to Cusco, it's 10,000 feet above sea level. This is why we recommend that before you book, before you go off on your aircraft to Peru, to Lima, you want to ask your doctor about elevation pills. I believe they're called Diamox pills. You usually take them 24 hours before you fly into Cusco. Once you get into Cusco, so you do a few nights in Lima, you get into Cusco, you then either stay a few nights in Cusco and then you drive down to Sacred Valley. As you can tell, the elevation gets a little bit smaller, lower, I should say. This is where you stay for 2 nights and then you take the train from Sacred Valley to Machu Picchu. By that time, you're acclimatized and you're used to the altitude and you can run around Machu Picchu. That's why it's so important. When you book with Goway, we will not book you straight away to Machu Picchu. It will take you 2 to 3 days. And the nice thing is, as you get to, on your way to Machu Picchu, you get to experience a little bit of Cusco and Lima, Peru. These are just another map I want to show you, of course, Lima, and then flight over to Cusco. It's about an hour and a half to get to Cusco. Now, if you want to drive, it's about 18 hours. I wouldn't recommend it, but we do a lot of flights. And then as you can see, Cusco, you get to Sacred Valley and then over to Machu Picchu. I put the map in there too, so you can see how close Ecuador is. So it's a very popular duo of those 2 countries. Mind you, you do need, I would suggest at least 2 weeks to really enjoy, even longer, to enjoy both countries. So of course, that's me there, we're trying to ride a bike. When you get to Lima, Peru, which is the capital city along the coast, usually the flight, if I remember correctly, even from LA and Toronto, we came in the evening. So you go to bed, the next morning, we kind of make you do a bit of the city tour. You don't want to stay in the hotel, you want to experience a beautiful country. So one of the tours that I did is we rode a bike all over downtown and we sampled food everywhere. The gentleman on the left, yes, we did eat that fish. He made ceviche, which is delicious. That's a really important diet, not important, it's a very common diet in the Peruvian, is fish, potatoes, corn, quinoa. Those of you who don't know, quinoa, it all started in Peru. Yep, they knew about the superfoods years ago. This is one of I love the vegetables. I had an avocado, which is 4 times the size of what we get here from, I think they come from Mexico. And there's that superstore Safeway, 4 times the size, and there wasn't a seed in it. Absolutely delicious. The whole country of Peru is an organic farm. I don't know, it's something to do with the soil in Peru. Example, 4,000 potatoes in the world, 3,000 of those potatoes you're going to find in Peru. 400 types of corn, 300 of those corns are going to be found in Peru. Of course, we did the city tour. I always like the colonial. You got a little bit the old Spanish style feel, and then you also have the modern. These are pictures of the Parliament building. I took a picture, of course, of the cathedral. This is the main square, which I like because you can tell the great Spanish architecture, and then behind them, the tall buildings, you get up the bit of the modern feel of Peru. That's just my view from when I stayed at the Westin in Peru. Beautiful coastline. Remember, it's along the Pacific Ocean. So here is the highway that goes all along the coast. That's the Pacific Ocean. And on top here, you see of course, a lot of these are condos, some residential buildings. So they get the most amazing sunsets in Lima. This is another district area for restaurants. Now, as I mentioned, they have all these types of food because everything's locally grown, to their fish, to their, you can't even try alpaca. I didn't try it, but one of the girls in my group did, and they said it tasted better than beef. So I just couldn't eat one because I held one of the baby alpaca early in the day. But it's something you want to try. It's when you go to a destination, you want to try the local foods and custom, the culture. Speaking of food, it's not only Peruvian food. Peruvians are foodie people. They make the best pasta and pizza. Anything from to your fast food to your high-end Michelin restaurants, you will find in Peru. This is just a picture of my sunset that I did. The other thing that's very important that you should try to do if you do get a chance is go visit the Larco Museum. Absolutely stunning, over think it was 4,000 artifacts of Peruvian, local Peruvian artifacts. They also house other countries in South America here. What we usually do is we do if you want to do a lunch, because there is a restaurant attached to the museum, and then after you can visit the museum, or you can do the museum and then do a dinner options. We always offer the both. Again, another map because I'm a map girl. So after you visit Lima, Peru, you're on sea level, you're going to fly up to Cusco. In Cusco, you can tell the landscape, the town is very different. So when we landed there, there was a little bowl at the airport of cocoa leaves. So I ate the pill, the Diamox pill, which was fine, but everyone was chewing on these cocoa leaves, of course. Cocoa leaves, you can have cocoa leaves, cocoa tea, cocoa gum, cocoa gummy bears, cocoa candy. Now keep in mind, you can't bring any of those products back to United States or Canada. So drink all the cocoa tea you like. And why do people chew the cocoa leaves? Because you're 10,000 feet above sea level. So it makes you acclimatize. The local people, they're just chewing cocoa leaf. It's very healthy for you, but just remember you cannot bring it back. Beautiful cathedral. These are the local Andes women. They all wear all these custom dresses. I love it because you see them everywhere. They're very proud. This is where you get more of the old school of the Peruvian. You won't get this in the big city in Lima, Peru, but you will get this in Cusco. Cusco probably has more tourism and tourists that come. Lima is just always like a little stopover, but you'll get more people, tourists, I should say, in the Cusco town. Make sure you get to hold and pet a baby alpaca. That's a baby sheep on the left, and on the right, that's a teenage alpaca. Local, of course, things to buy. Best thing to buy, of course, is alpaca wool, or a blanket or a shawl, which is great for Canadian winter. Also, pisco sour. That's their national drink. Absolutely a must. You have to try it there. Great for duty free. And coffee. Coffees are really good by the coffee in Peru is absolutely yummy. I like a nice dark roast. It's quite yummy. Their coffee. More pictures here. I'm just going to kind of skim through, but you can tell the landscape is very hilly in Cusco more than Lima. So not that you have to be physically fit. Now keep in mind, I've taken people from our group. That's a picture of the square. Everywhere in Latin America, a good chunk of cities in Latin America, the major cities always have the main square, that's where everyone refers to, yeah, I'll meet you in the main square. That's where the parliament buildings are, city hall, the cathedrals. That's a picture of me in the restaurant where we're overlooking the square. And you can tell in the background here, all the houses with the red brick. So again, very different compared to Lima. This picture is our group, but you can tell even in the background, look at all the houses. It's a very beautiful landscape Peru. This time when we went, of course, we're all drinking mimosas. We went in April in 2000, and I think it was 19. And we did a cooking class. So the day that we left back from Lima, we had all morning, so we booked a cooking class. And if it's not really, we're cooking, we're making chocolate. So remember, everything you probably know that will probably grow in Peru. So they grow their own cocoa, and we made it from scratch. It was quite a very unique experience. So as you're in Cusco, depending if you want to stay overnight in Cusco, what we did, we headed down to the Sacred Valley. So we're going down, as you're going down to the Sacred Valley, we did some tours. This is the beautiful salt ponds and moray. If you ever heard of Peruvian salt, they don't sell it as much outside of Peru because they don't make as much, but there's over 400 salt ponds here in this photo here, and all the local restaurants in Peru use this salt. That's why I'm telling you, Peru is a foodie destination. It is absolutely delicious, and everything's very healthy because everything's organic. So on our way, we're heading towards the Sacred Valley. I'm going to try to say this, or Talatambo, and I'm sure I said it incorrectly. Oh, I thought, do we have a question? Oh, keep going. You're muted, Lisa, but I'm going to keep going.
Sorry, I just wanted to let you know you've got just a couple minutes left.
Oh, okay, perfect. So Sacred Valley, I'm going to move through it quickly. This is the town where you catch the train. There's a train track. We're on our way to Machu Picchu. Look at the train. Even the train is an experience because you're driving through Sacred Valley and you get to the lush land of Machu Picchu. Remember, Machu Picchu is on the borderline of the rainforest, so you notice it's very lush. The other thing I want to mention here, this is my picture. This is not Photoshop. This is me, my picture. This is our group. So as you go to Machu Picchu, I highly recommend that you can do it self-guided, but I would strongly recommend you do it with a guided tour. They tell you all the history of what Machu Picchu was, how it was built, and how it was hidden from the Spanish. This is not my photo, this is a stock photo. But for those of you who don't know, in 1911, you'll see this plaque. Hiram Bingham is the one that discovered it. As you get off the train, usually you can overnight there. That's what we recommend. But at the very bottom here, the train is there. You take the bus and you go up this little zigzag road on the little bus. And if you see in the middle there, you see a little building with the green rooftop. That's the entrance into Machu Picchu. Now, keep in mind, there's no bathrooms or restaurants or little pit stops in Machu Picchu, so we recommend you use the bathroom beforehand because we'll be there about 3 to 4 hours. You can pack a little light lunch. Absolutely, you can. This is my first time to Machu Picchu, and there's going to be hundreds of opportunities for you to take pictures. So if you feel like, oh, this is the best shot, as you keep rocking on, there's going to be tons of opportunity. These are the locals that live on at Machu Picchu, the land. I always say, wow, look how beautifully landscaped it is. It's because they're just mowing the lawn, they're eating all the grass. And you will see them as you're walking. Remember, it's quite narrow where you walk. You have to really keep attention. That's why I would suggest you do with a guided tour, because next thing you know, they'll be just like walking right past you. This is my second photo here. But no, that worked out really good because the last slide I'm going to show you again is a map of South America. Keep in mind, Peru is the one that we're getting most inquiries for and is a popular pre and post destination for cruising. And then Ecuador is the other one, but maybe I can do Ecuador another time for training. And you know, we do, of course, South America. We do other countries all across outside of North America. There's a little map. But if there's any questions that come up, if they come up now or later, please let your consultant know. I can always answer them later and get back to you. But that concludes my little presentation.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, your pictures are absolutely fabulous. Thank you for sharing with us. There are a couple questions in the chat box. What are the heights of the waves when traveling in this area throughout the year? Is somebody thinking, I'm not sure if that's if you're thinking about
because of my picture, when you're in Lima, maybe there was that picture when you're along the coast, it's not necessarily a swimmable beach, but yes, it is quite rough waves. I don't know, I mean, where the port is, it's not going to be quite rough, but they don't get super high, maybe a certain season, but that's something I can look into.
Okay, thank you. Another question about is English the main language, or would they need a translator with the tour guide?
No. So Spanish is the official language, but English is widely spoken everywhere, especially in the main city, in Cusco. The locals, in the tourist area. Now, if you go a little bit off the beaten track, you might, English won't be as used, but they do speak English pretty much everywhere.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Soren. You've really opened our eyes. I mean, the colors, the food, you can almost basically smell everything. And then definitely, I think for most people, that Machu Picchu is a bucket list. And I love the way you talked about how you need to do it, because I think for many of us, we didn't really realize that it is going to be a couple-day journey so that you can acclimatize yourself to the altitude, because the last thing you want to do is spend the time and the money to go somewhere and then just not be able to enjoy it and feel sick.
Exactly.
All right, thank you.
Well, thank you.
So thank you for joining us. So again, we have our list of locations up there. We are here to help you. We are here to advise you. We are local, so please call your Expedia Cruises consultants. Travel is starting, and it's time to start thinking. We have all stayed home for way too long. Start thinking about where you want to go in 2022, 2023, 2024. The other thing I want you to start thinking about is, who do you want to travel with? I think we have all been isolated, and many of us haven't seen our family, we haven't seen our friends. And one of the most wonderful things about being able to go on vacation is being able to travel with other people and share those memories. So when you start thinking about where you want to go, maybe contact your friends and family and say, I've come up with this great idea. I was on a wonderful seminar this week that talked about South America. Maybe you want to join me on this, and make sure that you can have those wonderful, wonderful travel plans for you. Right? So please reach out to your Expedia Cruises consultant with any questions that you have. We are here to help you start your next vacation.